My name is Luca Gramaccioni, as you see, and I'm the director of Global Bank University in Italy. I'm a realtor. I'm almost 30 years now, and I'm actually entered in a CRS family. I'm the author of 16 books regarding real estate tips and strategies, and together with my colleagues and friends, Raffaele Racioppi and Nello D'Angelo, we run the CRS courses in Italy the next year. But the real reason I'm here is to show you how a native Italian speaker can manage a perfect, fluent, standard American English.
Good job.
No, maybe that's not the truth. But let's now start to talk about the Italian market. As you can see, I want to start to make a small summary of the Italian trends market in Italy. So, as you can see, the number of sales suffered a small but intense crisis in 1992 due to the exit of Great Britain and Italy from the European monetary system, and also for the refusal of Denmark to ratify the Maastricht Treaty. It was terrible. Mortgages jumped to 19%, and but all were reassembled in 8-month period by devaluating our currency. From then, for at least 15 years, the housing market started to increase its number of sales, and it seems unstoppable. But everybody knows that in 2008, now, the financial crisis invested all sectors, and in Italy, made the bank stop to lending the home buyers. So the number of sales suddenly began to decrease. As you can see, in 2009, we experimented a 25% drop in sales due to the financial crisis that was responsible for the subsequent employment crisis, thus creating the precondition for the definitive debacle of 2013, when the market fell at its lowest in 30 years. Now the market seems to be picking up, but the purchase model has changed. Customers ask for quality houses, and the majority of our building does not meet these requirements. The majority of our buildings have no integrity. You can often find shops, offices, bed and breakfast, and condominium in the same construction, because for years everybody has been allowed to do everything for years. Okay, our real estate heritage is very old and sometimes mismanaged. On one hand, because restructuring and rebuilding is very difficult due to so much bureaucracy. On the other hand, for the lack of economic availability of the small holders. In Italy, in fact, 80% of the householders own a single home after the mortgages. And the market essentially consists to sell made by to buy a bigger or better new house. This effect doesn't exist in the luxury market. Italy is full of wonderful houses, marvelous villas, princely contest, apartment with so beautiful position that give you the impression to live every day in a Fellini or Visconti movie. Okay, so this kind of property have increased their value very much, not also because the investment made by Italian wealthy people have increased, but also because in the last 10 years the purchase of Italian properties made by foreign citizens have increased by 9 times. Most of them, especially from the United Kingdom or Denmark, choose to spend their old age in our bel paese. Bel paese, it means beautiful country. Okay? You want to say it with me? Bel paese. Can you repeat? Wow! Now you are ready to come in. Okay. So, in our bel paese, and They invest especially in places like Salento, Liguria, Garda Lake, or Sicily, Tuscany, or art cities such as Rome, Florence, Venice, or Milan, our capital of fashion. Okay, so I know very well this kind of customers because through the Global Banker network, we receive so many referrals from abroad for these typical buildings that we call previews. And many of them come from US. Okay? In Italy, there are 42,000 agencies and almost 100,000 realtors. And many of these agencies are family managed by independent firms. And only 10% are franchised. The average of this is composed by a broker, an assistant, and a coordinator. They work locally and don't used to work with clients outside of their territory. The turnover is very high. Many people try, but only a few stayed. And the average age is above 25 years old. Mainly because in our country this work has lost the appeal of yesteryear. Okay. What it means is exactly is precisely and training not only technical, but adequate to obtain results on a continuous basis. What being a realtor in Italy means in the real estate market. In order to answer to this question, we have priorly to answer to another question before. What being a realtor in Italy means according to the local law and regulation. In Italy, a real estate agent is an intermediary and have to work both for seller and buyers. This implies a different vision of daily work and operations. There are in the realtor daily life two major obstacles. Point A, it's quite difficult, complicated pursuing a sale, hampered so much bureaucracy, and often the real estate agent cannot delegate this task. And point B, how do you measure a typical Italian? Friendly, nice, no? Confident, and outgoing, don't you? Well, the average Italian actually is close-minded. So I don't believe the realtor to be so useful. And the FSBO are 45% of the market. A realtor spends most of his time to convince people about his usefulness, making them believe. The same happens, I must say, the same happens among agents. The tendency is not to trust anyone. So therefore, the exchange of customers does not belong to our culture. Sharing system like MLS have introduced in Italy since only 10, 12 years now. And many problems related still exist. A few and incorrectly interpreted rules that not to foster the exchange of customers among agents. In this daily battle, three are the brands that stand out. There are Global Banker, thank you, and Remax, and Trim. Trim is an Italian franchise that introduced the sharing system in Italy. They make sharing like they make my life. For better understand the situation, I'd like you to know that together with my colleagues, Raffaele Racioppi and especially Antonello Margeri, we produced and adapted the N.A.R Code of Ethics less than a year ago. And we used them to make a culture based on sharing for all the Italian real estate agents. We weren't both for sharing, but we have make great strides towards a more modern way to do this job. And I'm sure that in the next few years, all the Italian agents will use the same standard used in US real estate world. Well, I think that this flash on the Italian market will be useful for you to relate in the future with our country, and which remain one of the best places in the world to live. And, and especially to understand that in order to buy an house in Italy, you must call a fantastic and special realtor like me. So, thank you very much, and thanks for putting up my terrible accent. Okay?
Good accent.
Good English.
Good English.